Ladies and gentlemen, up next, we unpack the world behind IBs, referral networks, and broker incentives, exploring how traders can separate genuine value from marketing noise in today's fast-growing trading ecosystem. If you're ready for this impactful session, please help me welcome Top Traders Network leading this conversation.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. Standing before you is Top Trader Network Industry Chat host MJ Givens Khasi. And as you can clearly see, I'm not alone. I am with my amazing co-host. I'm going to allow him to say his name, but I'm going to obviously introduce the rest of the panel. So I'm sitting with the amazing...
right here. Yes.
Thank you so much. So,
thank you for the introduction.
So as you can clearly see, we are not alone. We're just going to have a beautiful conversation going forward. How does brokers and how do we as industry players contribute to the industry at large? So sitting next to my co-host is Mr. Akimbi Sahid. I hope I pronounced it. I've been practicing at the back, and I hope I got it right.
Yeah, you got it spot on.
Thank you so much. Maybe I can get a round of applause for that. All right, and we also have the amazing Miss Irene Kanyamure.
Yeah, that's correct. Good to have you guys.
Come on, let's give her some hands. All right, and we have, so Mr. Akimbi is coming, is a country manager from Exness, and our dear Miss Irene Kanyamure is also a country manager from CXM. And we also have a gentleman on our panel as well, Mr. Blake Francis. He's the Director of Business Acquisition for Swift Markets. Can we please give him a round of applause? All right. I think the stage is set. We are all here, and the panel would really want to see how it really goes. I mean, year in, year out, there's always contributions, there's always promises, there's always innovation. But as industry players, we do understand that we have an obligation to serve the people that are giving us business. So I just want to open up the conversation around the topic that we're going to have today, transparency. How does, or what does transparency look like? I'll give it to you, my good sir. Maybe we can run with you from there.
Can you guys hear me? Awesome. So to me, transparency, especially coming from a partner or IB space, transparency means being open and honest to your partners, to your clients, to your IBs, whatever it may be, whether it's got to do with numbers, whether it's got to do with anything, I would say. But yeah, that's what I think transparency is. Just being open and honest with your partners that you're working with, whether even if it's them that's not open and honest, just make sure from your side, working in the industry, that you are as transparent and as open as possible.
All right.
Is the next person going to go? Irene?
Oh, yes. Sorry, I hope I can be audible. I mean, transparency in this business is the core of our business. When it comes to people's finances, everybody wants to know where their money is at what time and what is it doing. So when it comes to brokerage business, transparency is one of the core, backbone of our business. That's what I would say.
Yeah. And before we get to you, I actually want to take a different twist to this. How, from your side as being a country manager, how are you guys going about as repairing the transparency that's been lost in our industry? Because I think one thing we can believe is that a lot of transparency is not there anymore. It's been lost. Trust is lost in our IBs and our brokers because of business that's happened over time, since 2018, 2016. But how, as you, as a country manager, what is your approach to repairing that trust?
Thank you very much. For me, really, touching back on what they said about transparency, it's not just being open, it's also being fair. That's the core of transparency, is being fair. Then when you talk about trust in the industry, building trust, for me, I see trust more or less like a trust. It's more or less like a chain that links both IBs
brokers as well as the clients. You understand? And the thing is, once this chain gets broken along either side, the reputational impact just it spreads around the whole ecosystem. So it's more or less the broker from the brokerage side is up to the broker to keep the level of trust, same level of trust with the IB. It extends from the IB down to the client as well. So once the client sees the same level of trust with the IB partner also has that same level of trust with the broker. That same way, the ecosystem maintains trust. You understand?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. So
Can I add to that, please?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I would say that the system is saturated
Yep.
with bad actors, both from the brokers and the IBs themselves. So the trust he is speaking about has been lost over the years because the transparency, like I said, is the backbone of the industry. And most of the IBs and the brokers themselves are not being transparent to each other. You realize that the information that is being sold out there by IBs is not currently what is the broker offering. So over time, that tend to be lost because people, like I said, want transparency. Yep. If the IB is saying something else different than what the broker is saying, then the system suffers.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it will lead to contracts as well, because you find IBs getting into business with brokers, but they are not really aware of what is required of them as far as execution is concerned. So, in your opinion, what contribution do you think maybe brokers can have as far as legalities are concerned to ensure that IBs, they know what is required from them and how are they protected? Because we often see IBs will always get into a contract with a broker, a 3 months contract. This is your KPI. This is how many clients we need. We need to push this trading volume. And you find that sometimes they do qualify, they do excel, they do execute as per contractual agreement. But you find that on the other side, brokers cannot honor the contract, and the IB will say, but I cannot fight them. I mean, it's an institution. I'm an individual. So in your own opinion, how do you think that can be solved, especially in the industry?
Look, I think unfortunately in the South African market, you get a lot of those. You get a lot of those IBs, the good IBs that's in the market still. And there's still a lot of good IBs that is in the industry that gets done dirty by the brokers, like you said. Look, at this point, I don't think from a brokerage point of view, you can do anything but be transparent in your contract. Make sure that the IB or the IB that you're signing up understands the contract, firstly, before they sign it, because I've worked in the IB industry for about, say, 6-7 years. A lot of them just sign. You send them the agreement, they sign it back immediately. You know they didn't read the agreement. You know they didn't read the terms. And as much as you want to explain it to them, they also don't want to listen to that. They just want to be a part of the broker because that's maybe the hype now, the hype broker. I don't think, from at least the broker's point of view, I don't think there's really that much you can do but guide the IB to understand the contract, to read through the contract. It's unfortunate that all the brokers get painted with the same brush because that's what does happen. Even in the IB sense, your good IBs, your bad IBs. If you get the bad IB, the good IB is also painted with a brush. It's almost like he's a how can I say? You know the saying where they say a rotten tomato in a box makes so everyone gets painted with that same bad brush just because the broker maybe had a interaction with a bad IB. So then the next IB that comes with goodwill and he gets painted with the same bad brush. So I don't think from a broker's point of view, I don't know how the other guys feel, but I don't think there's really much that you can do.
For me, I think what the broker can do is to have clear partnership guidelines. That's the first thing. Once you have clear guidelines, you understand, it means everybody who's coming in the space knows already what is expected. It's not like everybody is coming in blind. So once you have clear partnership guidelines on what the partnership product or the IB product is all about, people already have a clear idea before they step into it. And also, like I said earlier on, it's not just, transparency is not just being open, it's being fair. So once you're fair, it's easy for anybody else coming into this space to say, okay, fine, there's a level of fairness to what's on ground. If you're splitting something, if I'm doing business with you and we're splitting profit and I see this, the way we're splitting profit is fair, there's no reason why I'll probably go back and want to renege on the contract, you understand? So I think that's my own take on it, yeah.
I'll add to that. Okay. I feel, like I said, we are talking about people's money here. We are talking about people's investments. We have to be accountable, both the IBs and the brokers. Everybody has to take an initiative. It's not somebody else's responsibility. If an IB wants to do a business with a broker, they need to understand what they're getting into. Because, I mean, that is also the reason why the regulators now are regulating IBs. Why? Because most people are just jumping into the business. They do not understand how it works. And at the end of the day, risking people's capital. And that's where you get to hear things like, oh, trading is a scam. Why? Because people get into things that they do not understand how it works. And because more so of the fine prints, people don't read. People don't understand what they're getting into. Can you take some time and read? Get to an agreement with a broker and understand what are the terms and conditions. And let everybody be accountable at their own part. So that if something goes wrong tomorrow, we know who to hold accountable. It's either the IB or the broker. So that's my contribution to that.
Before you say something, can I just add on to that? I think what you're saying is true. There needs to be some sense of accountability within this industry. For example, an IB gets given targets. They agree to the targets initially. They don't meet the targets. The broker eventually decides, okay, you know what, you haven't met your KPIs. We're going to cut you off from your deal or whatever the case may be. The IB can go complain on social media, but what does the broker do? The only thing the broker gets is bad publicity. No one wants to sign up. Everyone wants to terminate their account. So accountability is a very big thing that comes into factor.
Can I throw a spanner in the works? Upfront payments.
I will certainly jump on that. I mean, for me, upfront payments are a no-no. The moment an IB speak about upfront payments, for me, remember we're talking about, I'm still going to say this, the star of the game here is the client, not you. The moment you understand that it's not about you, it's about the clients, then of course upfront payment shouldn't be you shouldn't even put it on the table. Why? Because the moment I'm requesting for what I did not earn, I'm being very selfish. And I'm not being customer-centric, and I'm not thinking about the people that are going to put their money in. Because me, I just want to carry the bag and go. What happens about the people that I'm going to bring to the broker? You are not caring about them. Your own is that, can I have the upfront payment and go? What about the upfront payment? What are we paying you for really?
Okay, I hear you, but I think it's the current culture in South Africa. I think everybody knows that. Everyone in this room is probably aware that a lot of guys are going to ask for an upfront payment. And obviously, it goes down to the business model that people are running. A broker runs a business model. You get clients on board, they trade, you earn from the volume, which is supposed to be the basic one. And then obviously there are other add-ons, obviously, that you put there. But then we get it like that. Do you guys get where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but like you rightly said, it's culture. It can be changed. It's culture, it can be changed. I agree with her, really. Why do you want to earn for something you've not worked for? To be honest with you, why do you want to earn something you've not worked for? And it's why you see a lot of IB partners these days, once they, like she said, once they onboard clients or once they sign a deal, they get an upfront payment, nothing happens because they're comfortable. To be serious with you, the IB partnership is a business. For every partner who sees it as a business, he knows he has to actually make something happen before he earns money. So it's simple. So for the fact you said it's culture, I agree it's culture in South Africa, but it's culture which can be changed. It's just people doing things right over time, and then it gets corrected. So it's not something which can be changed. Yeah.
Can we then say, okay, so let's not put it like upfront payment. Can I use another word? Resources. So I'm going to put it in three phases. I know you're coming for me. It's fine. I'm going to put it in three phases. Resources, execution, outcome. Some of these IBs, and I'm not advocating for them, some of these IBs have built a reputation in the industry on their own without the broker's help. They've got a following, they've got a community that they are serving with their own resources. So some can come in a way of scaling. I've got 5,000 people that I'm mentoring. I want to scale now. But for me to get there, I need to partner with someone to give me resources. I will sign an agreement as far as that is concerned. My KPI will be set, and I'm willing to achieve. So would you then say brokers are open to give IBs resources that they need in order for them to scale their businesses?
So,
Okay,
sorry. So from my side, it goes back to painting them with the same brushes. We've got, all of us sitting here has got burnt with upfront payments.
Yep.
When you're speaking about resources, maybe to help the IB market, that they're moving to a new broker, by all means, that's fine. But first, at least show us some business before we can help you with that.
Yep.
We've got a massive, I'm sure all of us here has got a massive marketing team behind us. And any broker doesn't mind letting the IB use their marketing team to their advantage as well. So it goes back to painting you with the same brush. I'm not going to give you an upfront payment just because of what happened in the past, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Upfront payments, I don't know where it came from. Firstly, I just want to say that. It just
I
came
think
out
we all know where it came from, but it's fine.
it came out of nowhere. You see, the way I look at the IB industry, or the way my understanding of the IB industry is that you get a broker.
Yep.
IB is a mini broker within that broker.
Yep.
So they're actually supposed to put in the hard work to earn the money. The same way the broker's doing. And eventually, if you want to and you've got the capital, open up your own broker. That is my understanding of an IB. But now they're coming, they don't want to make money the proper way. They're not even traders, they're marketers.
Yeah, yeah.
They're not proper traders. They get a few people over. They get 1,000 sign-ups, for example, but they get maybe only $200 in deposits, and they're asking for a 500,000 rand retainer, which is it's absolutely insane.
But resources does not have to be capital.
Exactly.
Resources doesn't have to be money.
That's why I'm saying we've got, all of us here has got a massive marketing team behind us that they can use to their advantage. So, but they insist that they want money. That is the other thing also.
Okay, let me add to that. Okay. I've never seen, unless we are changing a culture, that people have to get paid before working. The culture has always been, I get employed, I work, and then I get paid. That is it. So the moment we just say it's a culture, just like my colleague here, Said, said, a culture can be changed. And we're not here nursing things that are not working. I mean, there's a lot of misinformation out there that somebody started it and made it a culture that they marketed and make it look okay when it's not okay. And it will never be, by the way. The core star of the game here, we'll repeat it again, is the clients. And as much as we are brokers and we want to make sure that we tend to the clients that are bringing business to us, it's not about the IBs. Yes, we do want to do business with them, but as long as the clients are going to suffer, then we are going to get in trouble with the regulators as well. That's why IBs need to understand that it's not about them. It can never be about them, it's about the clients.
Yeah.
Sorry, just to also touch on something. Like you were saying, MJ, you mentioned that these people already have a reputation, they are trying just to scale. And like Blake said as well, the brokers are prepared to actually give you all the resources you need. Like I said, it doesn't have to be capital. You understand? It doesn't have to be capital alone. Also, the IB is also prepared to put skin in the game. Because most times you have these conversations, it always comes from the angle like the broker has nothing to lose. The broker actually has something to lose. They have their reputation to lose. Because you, the IB, you're going out there saying, oh, I'm partnering with this broker. The moment you say that, you already dragged the, like I said earlier on, it's a trust, it's a chain, links everybody together. So you've dragged the broker alongside with you. So whatever you do that has a negative experience on traders also has an impact on the broker. So I'm just trying to also mention the broker also has something in the game. The broker has a reputation, and is why IBs actually look out for reputable brokers to actually work with. So that's just my own take too.
Yeah, just a question to all three of you, because I can tell you guys are kind of sharing the same thinking behind paying IBs. But also, we have so many brokers coming to South Africa, and they're coming with that thing of, no, we've got upfront payments. And obviously, everyone's going to run over there and bring the business there. And it's not really great brokers majority of the times, but also we have within our space, within the country as well, we've also got the actors and brokers who are also doing upfront payments as well. So you guys are talking about changing a culture. Yeah. But also part of that culture, it is within us to know for many, many years, for the past 10, 12 years, it's always been like that.
I'll just say something. If you check how many of those brokers are around now, it's simple. How many of them are left? So it answers your question.
Yeah.
Simple.
I would say that most brokers that are offering upfront payments, they always want to hit and run. there is no continuation plan in Africa. If you ask them, what's your business plan? How is this broker going to be in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years? They're nowhere to be found. Why? Because there's no continuation plan. So that is what I would say.
Right, so I think because we've got some few minutes left, and I would really want the audience to engage with us. So I want to move to my next topic, which is automation. And how I want to go about it is, or how I want us to go about it is, brokers provide technology. Innovation comes in, and again, I'm going to go back to IBs, where education has to be at the main front when it comes to automation, because IBs are your foot soldiers. These are the guys on the ground. And we're having a lot of IBs that are selling something they don't understand. So I think education is also important. Again, going back to resources. Doesn't have to be money. It has to go about, listen, I've got education for you. This is a product. This is a new product. We're introducing this. And this is how we want it to sell. But most of the IBs, you see that they are clueless. They don't understand how the system works. They don't understand how they can even get acquisition as far as the clients are concerned. They cannot retain those clients because they are seeing it like everybody else on TV, or they're seeing it on the internet that, hey, this broker has introduced a product, but they are selling it, but they don't understand it. So can we guys maybe engage on that and see how we can go about it?
Okay, awesome. I think with regards to that, it's very difficult from a broker's point of view, because you're asking an IB, or you're teaching an IB to sell a product, but the IB doesn't even have an FSP license. You know what I mean? So you don't want to be a part of the problem that's happening now. IBs are selling courses, they're selling all of those stuff, but they're not even licensed. It's a big problem from a broker's point of view, because how do you explain that? Understand? That's at least my point of view. I'm not too sure about the rest of you guys.
Okay, so for me, it depends. There's, like, brokerage is a whole lot of components joined together. So if we're talking about automation when it comes to education and educating only IBs, my point of view is coming from automating the whole system altogether, right? If we are to automate brokerage systems as a whole, we have high complex situations that automation won't solve, and that is needed by human touch. So I can't automate some systems that are very important when it comes to the brokerage system itself, including educating the IBs. Because we can put the system online to say, let's educate them. But if it's more on a one-on-one basis, then they learn more. But when it comes to client relationships, there are some systems that we can't really automate. There are some things that I really need to, some people, like, some situations can become very infuriating, right? And clients want to speak to a person. And because there's a robot speaking to that person, and they do not understand what the robot is saying, I want assistance right now. So we can't really automate such. For me, we need to actually have a human touch to it. That's what I would speak when it comes to automation of the system.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with both speakers earlier on. You can automate certain things. You understand? You can automate processes like probably verification, personalization. You understand? All those aspects you can automate. But when it comes to accountability, you can't automate that. You can't just throw automation at that. Everybody who has a complaint or something expects accountability, and that's what most of the users or the traders are expecting. They're expecting accountability. They're also expecting a level of expertise, especially when it comes to volatile situations. You understand? And like she said, there's a human element required for all this. You can't get that by automation. So for me, I believe automation may actually scale processes, but when it comes to accountability, people always expect a human on the other side. Yeah.
Okay, I've got one more question. Okay, with the rise of social media, I think the title of IB has kind of just been tainted, and I don't think it's a bad title, to be honest. But because of the rise of social media, now we make jokes and we say, oh no, they are marketers, they are content creators. And obviously, they're still content creators, but they come with communities as well. Do you guys think we should start making a separation between the two? Because I think that's where the confusion is right now. Because somebody looks at somebody standing on a wrapped car, and you think to yourself that, that one, marketer. But you find that they're probably bringing good business as well. So I just think the title of IB has just been tainted over time. So what do you guys think you guys could possibly do to kind of bring that separation? Or is there any aspirations to do that?
Look, from our side, I don't see It's the same business model, same business model. Whether you're standing on the rap cars, whether you are on IB on the ground, you still bring in clients. That's essentially what makes you money. I don't think there needs to be a separation between the two, if I'm completely honest. I think the separation comes when there's a new IB with 500 followers that just came out of nowhere. I mean, we've all been in the industry for how many years? You see IBs come and go every day. I think that's the only thing that needs to be separated, because those are the people that at least I call marketers. They go, they buy themselves 200,000 Instagram followers. Now they're looking for 500,000 Rand retainers by the IBs. But who were you last year? Last year you weren't anyone. Like all of you guys, I know you guys have a very good reputation in the industry. But you know what I mean? You get someone new that you didn't see 2 months ago. They're coming, they're asking for crazy fees. But with regards to the marketers, like you're saying, the boys that's standing on the cars, popping bottles and stuff like that, that I have no problem with, because the module is exactly the same. They still are IB whether you want it or not. So that's at least my thoughts behind that.
All right, we got like 3 minutes. I'll take 2 questions from the audience. We have people that are having questions to our lovely... any questions on the ground? You can just raise your hand and the lovely lady is going to come assist you with the microphone. Yeah.
Am I audible? So my question to your panelists is 2 important points came out: accountability as well as liability, especially for the end client, right? There's a gap there. And my question is, for brokers, what can you do to bridge this gap? You want to protect the end client. At the same time, you want to make sure IBs, use your brokerage services. But there's this gap. So what can you do to bridge this gap?
Anyone wants to take that?
Oh, yes, I can do that. Remember, he was saying something that I wanted to answer to. The name is introducing broker, right? Which means a mini broker out there that is speaking on behalf of the broker. So as long as they do not understand and there is a mistaken identity there, there's always going to be a crisis. The moment IBs understand that they are representing a broker in a very menial way, the earlier the better. But the moment that IBs think that they're an isolated part of the broker, yet bringing clients to the broker, then the issue is going to always remain. But the moment, like I said, there shouldn't be any identity theft there or identity lost. Don't lose who you are. You are an introducing broker to the company you are representing. And when you are representing a company, make sure you are staying or you are adhering to the rules and regulation of who you are to that brand. So that is how I'll answer your question. I hope I did answer you.
2 follow-up questions, but we can chat about that offline.
Can I also say one more thing? Also, you need to understand what you are selling when you are speaking to clients. I think that's the main thing, especially from the broker side of things. We need to help our IBs understand what it is that we are selling to clients, what it is we need them to sell to clients, because obviously they're bringing on the clients. So I hope that answers your second part.
All right. No, thank you so much, guys. Unfortunately, there's not enough time. Usually, if you guys come to the podcast, we can go an hour, 2 nyana, and we can just keep pushing. But the conversation's always great. Thank you guys so much for coming to share your knowledge with us. It was not enough. We need more. But hopefully, we'll be able to do this again next year as well.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. From
Awesome.
myself,
Thank you for having us.
Yes, from myself, Ngubile Tambani, and my amazing co-host.
MJ Givens Khasi.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining us, guys, and we're out.